If you played video games in the mid-1990s, you spent a lot of time running down perfectly straight hallways. You would move forward, fight some enemies, and eventually hit a literal dead end. Industry standards at the time forced players down one specific path. Every move was choreographed by a flowchart, ensuring the experience remained entirely under the developer's control from start to finish. Games were becoming more polished than ever, but that polish felt sterile. For many players, the experience had become passive. You weren't so much playing a game as you were following a set of instructions. This era was defined by safe design. Studios prioritized predictability, absolutely terrified that if players had too much freedom, they might get lost or break the intended loop. That obsession with safety left a massive gap in the market. By following the same rules, the industry ignored the potential for something genuinely unpredictable. In mid-90s London, that industry-wide frustration finally reached a breaking point. Two brothers, Sam and Dan Houser, worked inside that system and saw how restrictive it became. They wanted to build a world that felt as messy and dangerous as the real city outside their office. Their plan was to launch a publishing label that threw out the rulebook. They wanted to create experiences that actively provoked the player, offering freedom instead of guided tours. So they named the company Rockstar Games. For them, rejecting safe design was the logical foundation of their business, a bet that players were ready for a little more anarchy. It's a common myth that Rockstar Games designed the original Grand Theft Auto in isolation. The actual heavy lifting happened in Dundee, Scotland, at a development studio called DMA Design. Rockstar provided the punk rock attitude and the vision for the world, but DMA possessed the high-level engineering skills. They were the ones who had to figure out how to simulate a city on the limited hardware of the 1990s. The partnership was a constant tug-of-war. The London team pushed for more freedom and more chaos, while the Scottish engineers worked to ensure those systems didn't crash the computer. This tension between creative rebellion and technical necessity resulted in a unique set of compromises. They built a city simple enough to run, but reactive enough to feel truly alive, creating the initial template for a simulated urban sandbox. To achieve that feeling, they shattered traditional maze-like levels for a sprawling, interconnected city grid. They populated this grid with AI entities, pedestrians, traffic, and police, moving with independent logic. This created an alive world where these entities collided, causing chaotic, unscripted chain reactions. Rockstar dropped players into the role of a criminal in a cynical, satirical world. The goal wasn't to save the city. It was to navigate a society that felt morally ambiguous and indifferent to your presence. Success in the game came from testing the boundaries of this simulation. Players were highly rewarded for high-speed police chases and swerving through traffic, completely turning the city's own rules against it. The final result was a remarkably fragile simulated society, engineered specifically so the player could step in and break it. When the game finally hit shelves, the reaction from the public and politicians was immediate. Many were shocked by the game's lack of polish and its focus on rewarding criminal behavior. The ensuing controversy and attempts at censorship actually confirmed the Houser brothers' theory. The bans and the headlines acted as a magnet for a massive audience that was tired of following the rules. The game's success proved that players valued agency and unpredictability. They were willing to overlook unpolished graphics if it meant they could finally explore a world that felt dangerous and alive. The mechanics of that original experiment became the foundation for a multi-billion-dollar empire, proving that a focus on player freedom could dominate the modern industry. This shift toward open-world gaming didn't happen because of a sudden leap in graphics. It happened because a few developers decided to embrace the mess and reject the idea of safe design.